Addition is just counting forwards. The way I recommend to go about doing it is to start at the largest number and then count forward the smaller number, keeping track of how many you've counted forward using your fingers. If you keep track using your fingers, the number that you finish counting at is the answer. You could also start at the smaller number and then count forward the larger number, and you'll still get the correct answer, but it will take longer. Finally, you could also put up the number of fingers of the first number and then count forward the number of the second number, then your fingers would give you the answer. But doing it this way is much slower, and you would also require more fingers than what you actually have, so I do not recommend that way. When you start getting to larger numbers, you can continue with the same process that you do for much smaller numbers, but you'll work column by column. So the first step that you'll do is that you'll line up the two numbers that you're going to add together, keeping their place values in line. So the units are all in one column, the tens are all in one column, the hundreds are all in one column, etc. Then all you need to do is start at the large number in the units column and count forward the smaller number. After you've finished doing that, you write down the units of your answer in the units column, and you put the tens of your answers into the tens column. Then you will start at the larger number, count up the smaller number within it, and you'll also count up anything which is being carried. And if there is no number to add, you just copy that number down, because it's like adding 0. If you have more than two numbers to add, you can still put all those numbers in columns, lining up the units column, tens column, the hundreds columns, etc. Then a good way of doing it is you count forwards using your fingers for each thing, but keeping track. So for the first one here, we're starting at 9, counting forwards 3, and then we get our answer, write that one down, and then from our 12 we can count forward it's another 7 and continue on writing down until we get to our final value, of which then we put our units value in the units column and carry our 2 across the tens column, and then do the same thing for the next column, where the first value is the carried value plus the first value in the tens column, and so on. So we're just continually adding on values within the tens column, and the same thing. So when we get to the end, we put the 6 into the tens column and the 1 into the hundreds column. Same thing for the hundreds, and for the thousands we've only got the carry forward one. If we have any decimals, all you need to do is line up the decimal point and proceed as normal. All of these sums can be easily checked on the calculator.